expected an astonishing groundswell of hipster support tonight in New York City for presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. Momentum growing, but can it be counted on in the end? Here's ABC's David Wright.
Tonight in the heart of Greenwich Village,
there are a lot of people here tonight.
Bernie Palooza. More than 500,000 college students live in New York City alone. Tonight, about 27,000 Sanders supporters packed Washington Square Park, one of Sanders' biggest crowds yet. Tonight's rally, a star-studded affair.
Oh, man, it's amazing to be in Washington Square Park.
I'm the designated hype man, Bernie Sanders.
Like a rock concert. A stark contrast to the scene up in the Bronx, where Hillary Clinton had her own rally tonight.
Wow, I am so happy to be back here.
Judging from these two events, you'd be tempted to think this was a Bernie Sanders slam dunk. The big focus here, reaching out to millennials. You must like Bernie Sanders a lot. But a big problem Sanders faces here, can his supporters actually vote here? If you're a first-time voter, you had to register a month ago. And if you're changing parties, you had to do it all the way back in October. So while Bernie Sanders has a lot of supporters, a lot of them may not be able to vote in the New York primary. According to a new ABC News and Refinery 29 national poll of millennial women, Bernie was the clear favorite with 35% compared to 25% for Hillary Clinton. The top two Republicans in single digits. Here in New York, at least two young Republican voters won't be able to cast their ballots for Donald Trump. Trump's own children, Ivanka and Eric, missed the registration deadline.
New York has one of the most onerous rules in terms of registration, and it required us to register a long time ago. We didn't do that. We found out about it sort of after the fact.
Elsewhere in the country, Ted Cruz's campaign is running circles around the Trump campaign and the delegate selection process. That's left Trump banking even more on a big win here in New York. So far, the New York primary has been a roller coaster, the tabloids having a field day.
Are you guys ready to go on the death ride? The one that goes all the way down?
This weekend, Bernie Sanders was out on the Coney Island boardwalk, right under the world-famous cyclone.
Yeah, the one that goes, whoa!
Bernie, we love you! Sanders stopped by Nathan's for a footlong, reminiscing about all the hot dogs of his youth.
Must have eaten 5 hot dogs and I was sick as a dog. A little bit of mustard and sauerkraut, nothing fancy.
Maybe so, but he ate it with relish.
Enjoy!
On The View, Sanders schooled his rival candidates on how to eat a New York slice of pizza properly.
Are you all ready?
Yes,
Hillary Clinton has been chowing down too, or at least talking about it. In juniors, she ordered the cheesecake, but refused to consume it on camera.
I learned early on not to eat in front of all of you.
Hey, hi everybody.
Hi, Hillary. In Buffalo, she spoke fondly about all the Western New York delicacies she enjoyed during her Senate campaigns.
I like the beef on
She's had the turkey numerous times.
Yeah.
The two Democrats seem to be trying to out-New York each other, battling for New York's 247 delegates. Sanders flaunting his Brooklyn roots.
Thank you all for coming out to my old neighborhood.
Taking my colleague Cecilia Vega into his childhood home.
I peeked in, this was painted recently. See, when I lived here when I was a kid, all of this seemed much bigger.
But after Sanders got called out by the Daily News editorial board talking about subway tokens.
How do you ride the subway today?
What do you mean, how do you ride
How do you get on the subway today?
You got a token and you get in?
Hillary Clinton gleefully corrected him.
I think it was my first term when we changed from tokens to Metro cards.
You're well aware of that. She even squeezed in with commuters riding the 4 train, one stop to show her subway savvy.
Say hello to the next president.
But what might have been a PR triumph for this card-carrying New Yorker was foiled by a finicky turnstile. Apparently, Clinton isn't all that familiar with Metro cards. It took her 5 swipes to get through. This weekend at a New York press dinner, she jokingly chastised the mayor.
The little terminal thing kept saying, please swipe again. I mean, you got to fix that.
And on Saturday Night Live, the joke came entirely at her expense.
Try again. It's been a while.
Kate McKinnon's Clinton had a word of advice for all the Bernie Sanders voters.
Voting's for nerds. I mean, who cares? Just sleep in.
A lot of Bernie's voters here may do just that.
We have a system here in New York where young people who have not previously registered and want to register today just can't do it.
Because, they say, New York makes it too hard for them to get out and vote. I'm David Wright for Nightline in New York.